Imagine a coastal city where the roar of the South China Sea meets the rhythm of Vietnamese life. Where golden beaches curve beneath tropical skies. Where enormous statues overlook the ocean from green mountains. Where ancient temples sit quietly among modern streets. Where fishing boats return at sunrise carrying the day's catch. And where the smell of freshly grilled seafood drifts through the evening air. Welcome to Vung Tau, a beautiful seaside escape in southern Vietnam. Located on a peninsula in Ba Ria Vung Tau province, Vung Tau has long been one of the most popular coastal destinations for travelers from Ho Chi Minh City and beyond. But Vung Tau is much more than a weekend beach getaway. It is a destination where spirituality, history, nature, food, and the sea come together. Here you can climb a mountain before breakfast, stand beneath one of Vietnam's most recognizable giant statues, walk through a historic French-era lighthouse, relax beside the waves, explore peaceful temples, visit a colorful fishing village, and finish the day with a spectacular sunset over the South China Sea. Vung Tau has a unique rhythm. The mornings belong to fishermen, the afternoons belong to beachgoers, and the evenings belong to families gathering around tables filled with seafood. For some visitors, Vung Tau is a quick escape from the energy of Ho Chi Minh City. For others, it is a destination worth slowing down for. And once you discover its quieter corners, you may find yourself wanting to stay much longer. So whether you're planning your first visit in 2026, looking for a relaxing coastal adventure, or searching for an authentic Vietnamese destination beyond the country's famous tourist centers, join WorldFrame Expeditions as we count down the 10 best things to do in Vung Tau, Vietnam. We're starting at number 10 and working our way toward the experience that earns our number 1 spot. So grab your camera, put on your walking shoes, and let's begin our journey. Number 10. Walk along Front Beach and Vung Tau's waterfront. Our journey begins at the heart of Vung Tau's coastal atmosphere. Front Beach, known locally as Bai Truc, is one of the city's most recognizable waterfront areas. This is where Vung Tau introduces itself. Palm trees sway in the sea breeze. Fishing boats rest in the harbor. Restaurants and cafes line the waterfront, and the city's skyline rises behind the shore. Front Beach is particularly beautiful around sunrise and sunset. Early in the morning, local residents begin their daily routines. Some walk along the promenade, others exercise beside the sea. Fishermen prepare boats, and the water begins reflecting the first golden rays of sunlight. Take a slow walk along the waterfront. Watch the boats, listen to the waves, and observe how the city gradually comes alive. During the afternoon, the atmosphere becomes busier. Families gather. Visitors enjoy seafood restaurants. Children play along the waterfront, and cafes become popular places to escape the tropical heat. But as evening arrives, Vung Tau changes again. The lights of the city begin to glow, restaurants fill with diners, and the coastline becomes a wonderful place for an evening stroll. Front Beach may not be the most secluded beach in Vung Tau, but it is one of the best places to understand the city's personality. It is lively, social, colorful, and unmistakably Vietnamese. Number 9. Discover the Vung Tau Lighthouse. High above the city stands one of Vung Tau's most iconic landmarks, the Vung Tau Lighthouse. Built during the French colonial period, the lighthouse has watched over the coastline for generations, but the journey to reach it is almost as memorable as the lighthouse itself. A winding road climbs through the mountain. As you ascend, the city begins to disappear below you. The sea opens up, the horizon becomes wider, and the air becomes noticeably cooler. Eventually, you arrive at the lighthouse. Its simple white structure contrasts beautifully against the blue sky and surrounding greenery. Step outside and look around. Below you is Vung Tau. The peninsula stretches beneath you. The sea extends toward the horizon, and boats appear as tiny white shapes moving across the water. This is an excellent location for photography, but don't simply take the obligatory photograph. Stay for a while. Feel the breeze. Listen to the distant sounds of the city, and imagine the generations of sailors who depended on this light to guide them. The lighthouse represents something timeless, a small beacon standing against an enormous ocean, a reminder that even in the darkness, there is always a light guiding the way home. Number 8. Visit Nirvana Hill and the Nirvana Temple. For our next experience, we're stepping into a quieter world. The Nirvana Vihara, also known as the Nirvana Temple, is a peaceful Buddhist temple located on the slopes overlooking the sea. The temple complex is known for its spiritual atmosphere and beautiful views. As you approach, the noise of the city begins to fade. The sound of wind moves through the trees. Incense fills the air, and the sea stretches beyond the temple grounds. One of the highlights is the large reclining Buddha statue. Its peaceful expression creates a striking contrast with the enormous landscape surrounding it. Visitors often come here not only to admire the architecture, but to slow down, to reflect, to pray, or simply to enjoy the tranquility. Vietnam's temples are not just tourist attractions, they are living spiritual spaces. So when visiting, take a respectful approach. Dress modestly, speak quietly, and observe local customs. The experience becomes much more meaningful when you stop thinking of the temple as a photograph and start experiencing it as a place of peace. Number 7. Relax at Back Beach. Now, it's time to head toward one of Vung Tau's most popular stretches of sand, Back Beach, or Bai Sao. This is where the city becomes a classic Vietnamese seaside destination. The beach stretches along the southeastern side of the peninsula. Golden sand meets the warm waters of the South China Sea, and the wide coastline offers plenty of space for walking, swimming, relaxing, and enjoying the ocean breeze. Early morning is one of the best times to experience Back Beach. The sun rises over the sea. Local residents exercise along the shore. Fishing activity begins offshore, and the beach feels surprisingly peaceful. Later in the day, the atmosphere becomes more energetic. Families gather, travelers swim, beach cafes serve refreshments, and water sports may be available depending on conditions and local operators. The best part? You don't need an elaborate itinerary here. Sometimes, you simply need a towel, a cold drink, and a few hours. Let the waves roll toward the shore, read a book, take a walk, or sit beneath the shade and watch the clouds move across the sky. Travel doesn't always have to be about doing something. Sometimes, the best thing to do is simply be there. Number 6. Explore the White Palace. Now we're stepping into Vung Tau's colonial history. High above Front Beach is the elegant White Palace, known in Vietnamese as Bac Din. Built during the French colonial era, the building reflects European architectural influences while incorporating elements suited to Vietnam's tropical environment. Its position is particularly beautiful. The palace sits among lush vegetation with views toward the sea. As you walk through the grounds, you'll find decorative details, historical objects, and artifacts connected with the building's past. But the surrounding landscape is just as captivating. Look toward the ocean. You can see the coastline curving around the peninsula. The sea stretches endlessly into the distance. And below, the city continues its daily rhythm. The White Palace is a fascinating place for travelers interested in architecture and history. It also reminds us that Vung Tau has long been strategically important. Its location on the coast made it valuable to governments, merchants, sailors, and military forces. Today, the palace stands quietly above the city, a beautiful window into another chapter of Vietnam's history. Number 5. Climb to the giant Jesus Christ statue. Now, we arrive at one of Vung Tau's most famous landmarks, the Jesus Christ statue, standing atop Small Mountain. The monumental statue rises dramatically above the coastline, with outstretched arms facing the sea. From a distance, it is already impressive. But the real adventure begins when you climb toward it. The route involves a long staircase, leading through greenery toward the monument. Take your time. There is no need to rush. As you climb higher, the views become increasingly spectacular. The sea expands before you. The city appears smaller, and the surrounding mountains become more dramatic. Eventually, you arrive beneath the enormous statue. The scale is difficult to appreciate until you're standing there. Look upward. The figure rises high above you. The outstretched arms create a powerful silhouette against the sky. If access conditions allow, visitors can climb inside the statue to reach viewing areas around the shoulders. From the top, the panorama is extraordinary. Vung Tau spreads below, The coastline curves around the peninsula. Ships move across the horizon, and the South China Sea seems endless. It's a moment that combines architecture, spirituality, adventure, and scenery. And perhaps that is why the statue has become one of the defining symbols of Vung Tau. Number 4. Discover Homei Cultural and Ecological Tourism Park. Now let's head into the hills. Hidden above the city is Homei Park, a large recreational and ecological destination offering a completely different experience. Accessible by cable car, the journey itself provides beautiful views. As the cable car rises, the city becomes smaller. The coastline opens beneath you, and Vung Tau begins to look like a miniature landscape. At the park, visitors can enjoy a mixture of nature, entertainment, cultural attractions, and family activities. There are green spaces, scenic viewpoints, adventure attractions, recreational areas, and places to relax. For families, it can provide an entire day of activities. For couples, the mountain setting creates opportunities for scenic walks and photographs. And for travelers who want to see another side of Vung Tau, the elevated perspective is unforgettable. Imagine looking down at the peninsula from above. The blue sea surrounds the city. Buildings appear between trees. Boats move slowly across the horizon, and the mountains provide a natural frame. It is a reminder that Vung Tau is not simply a beach city. Its identity is deeply connected to its mountains as well. Number 3. Explore the Long Sun fishing village and seafood culture. If you really want to understand Vung Tau, follow the seafood. The waters surrounding the region have supported fishing communities for generations, and exploring the local fishing culture provides a more authentic perspective than simply eating at a tourist restaurant. Head toward the fishing communities around Vung Tau and nearby Long Sun Island. Here, the rhythm of life is strongly connected to the sea. Fishing boats leave early, nets are prepared, seafood is sorted, and local markets become active with the day's catch. Long Sun is particularly known for its oyster farming and seafood culture. Imagine arriving around the time fishermen return. Boats move toward shore, crates are unloaded, fresh seafood changes hands, and local restaurants prepare the catch. This is food at its freshest. Crab, prawns, oysters, clams, fish, squid, and other seafood specialties. A meal here isn't just about taste. It's about understanding where the food comes from. The sea, the boats, the fishermen, the markets, the kitchens. And finally, your table. If you have the opportunity to visit a local seafood restaurant away from the busiest tourist areas, take it. Order something unfamiliar. Ask how it is prepared, and enjoy the meal slowly, because some of the best travel memories begin with a simple plate of food. Number 2. Experience the culture, temples, and history of Vung Tau. Vung Tau's coastline may attract visitors, but its spiritual heritage gives the city depth. Beyond the famous Jesus statue and Nirvana temple, Vung Tau is home to numerous pagodas, temples, churches, shrines, and historical sites. One important destination is the Niet Ban Ting Sa, associated with Vietnamese Buddhist traditions. Another is the Tik Ka Phat Dai, a Buddhist temple complex located on the slopes of Big Mountain. Here, visitors can discover statues, gardens, stairways, and peaceful spaces surrounded by greenery. The atmosphere is completely different from the city's busy waterfront. There is incense in the air, birds move through the trees, and visitors walk quietly between religious structures. These places provide a glimpse into the spiritual side of Vietnamese life. But Vung Tau's history is much broader than religion. The peninsula's strategic position made it important throughout different periods. Its harbor connected it with regional maritime routes. Colonial powers recognized its strategic value, and modern Vietnam transformed it into a major coastal destination. As you move through the city, you can see these layers overlapping. French architecture, Vietnamese traditions, Buddhist temples, Christian landmarks, modern hotels, fishing communities, and rapidly developing urban areas. Vung Tau is not one story. It is many stories happening at the same time. And that's what makes exploring the city so rewarding. Number 1. Watch the sunrise and sunset over Vung Tau's coastline. And now, we arrive at our number 1 experience. The simplest one, the most beautiful one, and perhaps the one you'll remember longest. Watching the sunrise and sunset over Vung Tau. Wake up before dawn. Leave your hotel. Walk toward the beach. The streets are quiet, the air is cooler. The city is still waking up, and somewhere beyond the darkness, the sun is approaching. Stand beside the sea. Watch the horizon. At first, there is only a faint glow. Then the sky begins to change. Deep blue becomes violet. Violet becomes pink. Pink becomes orange. And suddenly, a golden line appears across the horizon. The sun rises above the South China Sea. Fishing boats become silhouettes. The water begins to sparkle. And Vung Tau comes alive. People exercise along the beach. Vendors prepare breakfast. Fishermen return with their catch. Motorbikes begin moving through the streets. The city wakes up. And then, after a day of exploration, return to the coast in the evening. Find a quiet place, sit down, and wait. The sun begins descending. The mountains become dark silhouettes. The sea turns golden. Clouds catch the final light, and the entire coastline seems to glow. This is the moment when Vung Tau makes its strongest impression, because beneath all the attractions, the monuments, the temples, the beaches, the restaurants, the history, there is one thing connecting everything: the sea. The sea that shaped the city. The sea that feeds its fishing communities. The sea that brought travelers here. And the sea that continues to define Vung Tau. As the last sunlight disappears, the city lights begin to sparkle. The waves continue rolling toward the shore. And for a moment, everything becomes quiet. That is Vung Tau. Not simply a destination, but a feeling. And that's why the coastline at sunrise and sunset takes our #1 spot. If you have additional time, Vung Tau offers even more experiences. Visit the Worldwide Arms Museum, a fascinating private collection of historical weapons and military artifacts. Explore the local markets. Try a Vietnamese coffee while watching the streets. Take a motorbike ride around the peninsula. Visit smaller temples and pagodas. Explore nearby coastal villages. Take a boat excursion. Try water sports when conditions are suitable. Or simply spend another afternoon on the beach. Vung Tau is easy to enjoy at your own pace. One of the best reasons to visit Vung Tau is the food. And because you're on the coast, seafood should be at the top of your list. Try fresh oysters, grilled prawns, steamed crab, squid, clams, fish, and seafood hot pots. But Vung Tau has another famous specialty: bánh cot. These small, crispy Vietnamese savory pancakes are one of the dishes most closely associated with the city. They're usually made from rice batter and topped with ingredients such as shrimp, then served with fresh herbs and dipping sauce. The combination of crispy edges, soft interior, fresh herbs, and savory seafood makes them irresistible. You should also try Vietnamese bánh xèo, fresh spring rolls, noodle soups, grilled meats, tropical fruits, and strong Vietnamese iced coffee. And don't forget dessert. Fresh coconut, mango, dragon fruit, rambutan, and other tropical fruits provide the perfect ending to a hot day. The best approach? Eat like a local. Try small portions, explore different restaurants, visit markets, and let your appetite guide you. If you're visiting for the first time, staying near Back Beach gives you easy access to the main beach, restaurants, hotels, and entertainment. For a more urban atmosphere, the Front Beach area offers convenient access to the waterfront, cafes, and city attractions. For travelers looking for peace and scenery, consider accommodations farther from the busiest central areas. And if you're traveling with family, look for hotels with pools and easy beach access. Vung Tau has options ranging from budget guest houses to luxury hotels and resorts. Choose your location based on the experience you want. Vung Tau has a tropical climate, so temperatures are generally warm throughout the year. The drier months are often preferred by travelers seeking beach days, outdoor activities, and sightseeing. The rainy season can bring heavier showers, but rain may be brief and conditions can change quickly. If you're planning outdoor adventures, check the weather forecast before leaving. For beach activities, mornings can be particularly pleasant. And if you want to experience the city at its liveliest, weekends can be energetic because of visitors arriving from Ho Chi Minh City. If you prefer a quieter atmosphere, look for accommodations farther from the central areas. Consider visiting during weekdays. Vung Tau is relatively compact. Walking works well around many central areas. Taxis and app-based transportation are useful for longer distances. Motorbikes are popular, but only ride if you're properly licensed, insured, and comfortable with local traffic conditions. For attractions outside the city, hiring a reputable driver or joining a guided excursion can be convenient. And remember, some of Vung Tau's best moments come from simply wandering. Don't spend your entire trip inside a vehicle. Get out, walk, explore, stop, look, and discover what lies around the next corner. Before your trip, keep these tips in mind. First, bring sunscreen. The tropical sun can be intense. Second, carry drinking water, especially when climbing the mountains or visiting outdoor attractions. Third, wear comfortable shoes. You'll encounter stairs, hills, temples, and coastal paths. Fourth, dress respectfully at religious sites. Cover shoulders and knees when appropriate and follow local instructions. Fifth, be cautious around the sea. Check local conditions before swimming and follow beach safety instructions. Sixth, try local food. Don't limit yourself to international restaurants. Some of your best meals may come from small local establishments. And finally, slow down. Vung Tau isn't about racing between attractions. It's about experiencing the coast. Vung Tau may be close to one of Vietnam's busiest cities, but it feels like another world. Here, mountains rise above the sea. Temples hide among the trees. Lighthouses watch over the coastline. Fishing boats move across the horizon. And beaches stretch beneath endless tropical skies. You can begin your morning climbing toward a giant statue. Spend the afternoon relaxing beside the ocean. Explore a Buddhist temple before sunset. And finish the evening with fresh seafood beside the water. That's what makes Vung Tau special. It's accessible, but adventurous. Modern, but deeply connected to tradition. Lively, but filled with peaceful corners. And above all, it's authentic. So if you're planning your Vietnam adventure in 2026, don't simply visit the famous destinations. Look beyond the obvious. Take the road toward the coast. Follow the smell of grilled seafood. Climb the mountain. Walk beside the sea. Watch the fishermen return. And let Vung Tau surprise you. Because sometimes, the most memorable destinations aren't the ones you've heard about 1,000 times. They're the ones you discover for yourself. If you enjoyed this journey with WorldFrame Expeditions, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more incredible travel adventures from around the world. And tell us in the comments, which Vung Tau experience would you choose first? The giant Jesus statue, the historic lighthouse, the beaches, the temples, the seafood, or the unforgettable sunset over the South China Sea? Until our next expedition, keep exploring, keep discovering. And remember, the world is waiting beyond the horizon. This is WorldFrame Expeditions. Hẹn gặp lại. See you on the next adventure.